G'day fellas. Welcome to a recorded game where we're going to be taking a look at Propofol versus Fitzbro. Spawning in the west of the map is Propofol on the Russians, and his opponent spawning in the east of the map is Fitzbro. Now, for anybody unfamiliar with who Fitzbro is, he's a personality, an Age of Empires 3 player who streams a lot on Twitch. In addition to streaming on Twitch, he's also got a YouTube channel, so I'm going to leave a link in the description to Fitz's YouTube channel. If you'd like to see more Lakota gameplay, he's got a whole bunch of it. So he is a Lakota main. If we check out his home city is probably level 131. I don't know how we can see it. Maybe if we hit F7. No, it doesn't show us, but I assure you, he only plays Lakota. So I know I've seen a lot of requests for people asking me, Drongo, play some Lakota. Well, here you go. Here's your guy. So we'll turn on the Fog of War. We'll see where he's scouting out. Looks like at the moment, he's just kind of doing a bit of scouting, looking for his opponent's Explorer. There's also been a lot of requests for Russian gameplay as well, so it's good to have some Russian games on the stream, finally. If we take a look at the map, so overall, this map is probably quite favorable for the Russian player, just primarily because he's going to be able to wall up very nicely. So he's going to be able to get in some really good walls here behind his base. He's going to be able to wall in very defensively, able to use this big choke point here so that he's not going to be raided very easily. He's able to sort of wall this off as well. So a really, really nice map for him as well. If we take a look from Fitzbro's perspective, we see he's dropping down the market now. So curious exactly what he's going to be doing. He's picked off a cougar and he's going to be taking out the 90 wood treasure. So pretty good opening treasure for him. If we take a look at his opponent's doing a bit of scouting in the south and found a 110 coin treasure for himself. He's dropped a market down relatively early. Also got the hunting dogs out, so pretty nice opening from both of these players. I think Fitzbro's also going to be going for that hunting dogs once he picks up this treasure, the 90 wood, having dropped down the market. So an economic focus for both players in the early game. We'll have a look and see. There might be a bit of a tussle over this 80 XP treasure, potentially, but Fitzbro looks like he doesn't know about this treasure. He's going to be racing over here, but I think he's going to be just a little bit too late. Fitzbro's first shipment now coming in. Hunting dogs is on the way. The 4 villager shipment does come in. Not going to be any too much of an issue here. So now Fitzbro knows where the Explorer is. I think Prop, well, I'll call him Prop. Prop would have seen Fitzbro's Explorer coming in, but he spots the 80 XP treasure here as well. We'll take a look on the map and see if there's any other reasonable treasures that we can spot. We've got the 120 XP up the north here. We've also got 80 coins, so these are two pretty good treasures, I would say. Also a 90 food treasure. These are really, really good treasures. And now Prop going for the 80 XP treasure down to the south. Fitzbro doing a bit of scouting of Prop space. In the middle of the map, the 3 stray sheep as well as the cougar. So really, really nice treasures, honestly. This is some really good spawns. I'd be very happy with this. We've also got an El Guapo, or an El Polo Guapo that's spawned as well as a Nootka. So Nootka, very strong. If I was Fitz, I'd be taking this Nootka out nice and early. It's going to be quite easy for him to take, as well as allowing him to siege the potential. Oh, he's actually, it looks like he might be even coming back for it. He is in. Is he coming back for it? No, he's running past it. But going to enable him to siege any early blockhouse that gets placed down. Now, if we talk a little bit about this matchup, the Russians have quite a weakness against cavalry in the early game. So the primary issue with Russians is they just don't have a whole lot of ways to kill cavalry. Now, if we take a look at Prop's deck, he's going to have things like Manchu in the deck, which are going to help him out once he gets to the Fortress Age. But in the early game, it's difficult because he's got this sort of bridge or this gap that he needs to bridge, and he can't really do it until he reaches the 3rd age. So it's going to be difficult. He's going to be relying a lot on musketeers. When it comes to Fitzbro, I would expect that aging up with the chief, so not aging up with the messenger here, and potentially taking down a lot of the trading posts. So with the most recent changes to Lakota, they start with 100 coin. They don't start with the extra wood. And as a result, it means that the trading post site is not something that they can take very easily. We've got a couple of villagers now coming out for Prop. I don't think Fitz has managed to... He did actually spot it. Turning around now, so going to spot it. Keep in mind, if he had taken this Nootka would be over here, getting ready to siege down the potential base that comes up, so now sieging it down. So a really, really good thing to do against Russian players is to take control of those early creatures. We've now got I Eat Yumi's slowly sieging down the blockhouse. We'll take a look at Prop and see what he's up to. So he's got a whole bunch of villagers in his base, doing a pretty good job of herding as well. If we take a look south of his base, he'll probably have a hunt. You see how far away this hunt has moved. Against Lakota, it's really important to get your hunts in. And by the same token, against the Russians, really important to get your hunts in. And Fitz is doing just that right now, so herding in this hunt south of his base. Got this hunt north of the base. It looks like this hunt is slightly closer to Fitzbro than this hunt is to Prop. This hunt seems really far away. We've now got, it's a double war hut. The war hut's going up against the blockhouse, so it is on. Fitzbro said, you want to do it, let's do it. It is on. So is this live, asking Gaius? Yes, this is live. I can confirm we are live at the moment. And we've got the TP going down as well for Fitzbro now. So what are we going to see from here? So I'm obviously aging up with the Chief. We're going to be seeing probably things like 6 Setons or 7 clubs coming in immediately. We see Prop's already reached the 2nd age. He's going to be training those Musketeers with the Cossacks coming in as well. So putting a lot of potential damage down on the front line, but dropping down the TP as well. Fitz has now got some Seton bows and sending through Axe Riders as his shipment. So an interesting shipment. Personally, I would have just gone heavy war clubs. I would have gone like full out war clubs. I just would have gone so heavy with them. I probably would have sent war clubs from the home city, also shipped home war clubs, because you can use those war clubs as leverage. You can just be sieging this down right now. Like, let's say these are war clubs that are coming out. You've got 5 war clubs as well as the 7 war clubs. Then, sorry, you've got 12 war clubs that could potentially be sieging, and they're going to be providing a lot of strength. Like right now, you're going to have a bit of trouble. We've got the Seton bows that are dying to the Cossacks. Cossacks looking pretty good, but the Axe Riders now popping out. They've got the bonus TP, so really nice move by Fitzbro, getting an extra 10% HP off each one of these TPs. So he's got equivalent of a 50 HP extra. We've now got 10 extra muskets coming out. More Seton bows in the queue right now for Fitzbro. We take a look over at Prop. We see what he's sending in. He's got 3 settlers behind this and 13 Strelay on the way. Strelay, it could be Strelitz. I'm not sure exactly how we pronounce that, but nonetheless, Cossacks are managing to do quite a lot of work. All of the cavalry has died for both players now, so with these 13 Strelitz, there's going to be no more cavalry out on the field. We take a look back at Fitzbro, we see what he's up to. So still not training any settlers, not using that shipment. He does have a shipment in at the moment, but no opportunity to send any more cavalry. He doesn't have that dog soldiers in there, so no 2 dog soldiers in here. And now going with the 7 war clubs, so this is probably the right move. Personally, I would have been saving my Axe Riders until right now. Axe Riders would be a really good opportunity to send, because we've got the Strelitz that are coming out. It's very rare for your opponent to open Strelitz, especially if you're going to be putting a blockhouse so close to them. The Seton bows are doing quite a lot of work, and it looks like we're going to get a pop coming up soon, which might land right on top, and they're going to do a relatively nice amount of work here. More Strelitz now coming out for Prop. And training another batch. So both players skipping villages at the moment and really just focusing completely, cancelling that, actually getting some musketeers in now. And still, despite this, Fitzbro just managing to hold on, but it looks like he's going to get outmassed. He's got how many TPs? And we've got the clubs now popping out, so clubs are going to get picked off. Unfortunate timing for the clubs. The first club going down. Other clubs now moving into cover mode. Very nice use of cover mode. For anybody wondering, what's cover mode? Well, you see this cute little dance that they look like they're doing? They're in cover mode. Cover mode is going to be reducing the incoming damage that they're taking from ranged sources, which is perfect in this situation. So now we've got the 4 Cossacks coming in for Prop. He's going to be able to deal with the Seton bows as long as Fitzbro isn't able to hold him off with the clubs. Now Fitzbro has got that shipment in, hasn't got any units in training, so it looks like he's probably going to be losing this forward base here. But a huge amount of action so far. Now training 4 Seton bows, sending 6 Seton bows as well. So what he needs to be doing is focusing down these Cossacks, because this is going to be able... Fitzbro in the chat saying 21, so appreciating, had to try it. So I guess acknowledging right there that a little bit of a difficult spot for him. But now I Eat Yumis is back up and alive. Doesn't look like he's going to be doing too much. We'll see if he focuses down the Cossack. This is what I would be focusing down if we take a look. So we actually see the Explorer focusing on the Cossack. So this is the correct move. This is what he needs to be doing. But he needs the War Hut to be focusing down the Cossack as well. Prop now saying in response 21. That Cossack going to be going down. Dropping down a TP as well. I don't know if I like that. I think there's more than enough TPs here. You've got plus 33. But really, I guess, you know what? It doesn't really matter. Now, this is so much. The 4 TPs, these guys have got 146 HP. So really nice use of the TPs by Fitzbro. Dropping down a 5th TP. How many more TPs do you need, Fitzbro? You gotta be making units, buddy, not TPs. Dropping down a 5th TP, 146 HP now. More Setons coming out, so a total of 8 Setons. Now, keep in mind, Prop doesn't have any cavalry left. He doesn't have any way that he can be making more cavalry other than making a stable. And we take a look at his base. We don't see any stable. Now, he does have 700 and 600 coin in his deck, which he can be using to leverage to make more Cossacks. But at the moment, at this point in time, Fitz is definitely looking like he's in a great position, just simply because he's got, at this point, he's got the lead, I would say. The main issue is that there's going to be a second blockhouse coming up behind this. This blockhouse obviously going to be able to fire onto the Seton bow. We see it going off just there. And Seton bows aren't particularly good when it comes to siege. We see that they've got 10 siege damage. I'm incredibly impressed with the defense that Fitzbro has managed to put down with the TPs. So Fitzbro doing the right thing, pulling back. At this point in time, there's a couple of different options that you've got as the Lakota player. But in my opinion, I think at this point in time, it's amassing Setons is the right thing to do. And then even potentially looking for a raid on the back line. So dropping down that stable and getting out some more Axe Riders. So we'll take a look at Fitz's base. We'll see if we can spot that stable going down just yet. Nothing yet that's going down. Oh, we spot it right there. The corral now going down for Fitzbro. So really, really good timing, coming in at 9 minutes and 20. So that's exactly what he needs to do to sort of get a lead here. Because the thing is, with these TPs, he's not going to be able to be stopped. Like, this is just a silly push. This push isn't going to work from prop. He's very easily going to be able to deal with this Fitzbro is. Just simply because you've got so many TPs in here. We see 161 HP on these guys. So a huge amount of coverage. And they're going to be able to hold that. Even though then they're outnumbered significantly, they're still going to be able to hold it. But the way that Fitzbro needs to get back into this is because he really can't push this front right here, is he needs to be raiding. So we take a look. We see these units down here. There's probably going to be more in here, but he can't really see them just yet. There's a villager in there. But and some more villagers now out here. So that's what he wants to be doing. Get those Axe Riders out there. That's really going to make it looking like he'll be able to do it. But we've now got some more Lakota bows coming in, picking off a Strelet or two, down to 840 health. So still quite a sizable amount of health before he's got to cut through this. Nine Seton bows now, so a huge amount of action in this early game already. A little bit of a lull now. We'll take a look at prop. We'll see what he's up to. We've got no more shipments that have come in so far. He's got that 700 wood that he's dropped down. We'll see if he opts to maybe take a trading post or two. He's dropping down a stable, so this is the right move from prop as well. I think from this point here, both players should really be opting for an age 2 play. You know, when it comes to aging up to the Fortress Age, there's a timing window that each player has got to make. Both players have got a choice. So you can send right now, like Fitz could send 700 coin. He could mine, you know, that extra 300 coin from the silver mine. He could get 1200 wood or 1200 food, but you got to ask at what cost, okay? What's going to happen in that time? Probably the Russian player is going to keep massing up units. He's going to be able to push through the war hut. He's going to be able to push you back. He's got Cossacks that are coming out. He's going to be able to take you down. And even though you might hit the Fortress Age, he's going to be in your base. He's going to have, you know, 30 muskets. He's going to have 20 Strelets. He's going to have 10 Cossacks that are burning down your stable. And now you're in the Fortress Age, but you can't really do much with it. And by the same token, okay, you need to think about it from prop's perspective. If prop wants to age up, sending that 700 coin now, but if he wanted to age up, he would have to, you know, deal with a Lakota player who's then pushing through his base and going to be doing the same thing. So they really have to look for a window. But Fitzbro coming in with a huge amount of cavalry right now. 9 Axe Riders. This is going to be more than enough to turn the tide. But deciding that he's not going to play with it. I guess one of the things that he's cognizant of is the pathing in here. It looks like Axe Riders aren't going to get particularly good coverage in this area, but we'll see. He'll take a look and see what he does. Seton bows now. They need to be picking off the muskets. That's exactly what they do. Fitzbro getting on top of these Strelets and just doing an absolute work. I'm so impressed. I didn't see this switch coming in so early. This is a huge amount of switch that he's managed to do. He's going to clean this up completely, it looks like to me. The Seton bows on the back line are doing all that they need to be doing. They just need to be picking off these muskets, so you can see that they're taking them out slowly. We'll take a look from prop's perspective. We'll see how many units he's got left. He's down to 7 muskets, 7 Strele, 5 more muskets now popping out. So a really nice switch here from Fitzbro, managing to do that. We've also got Cossacks in queue from prop, which are going to be popping this one out. We've got this the second blockhouses, which are going to be laying down fire. We've got more Axe Riders now coming in. So Fitzbro, at this point, really needs to heal up this war hut and needs to get more Seton bows out, and that's exactly what he does. So doing the right thing right here. So he's got 8 Seton bows, 8 Axe Riders, going to be burning down this forward blockhouse as well. So doing the perfect thing. This is exactly what he needs to be doing. Sieging down the blockhouse with his Axe Riders and then focusing down the muskets, forcing them back. But we've got some Cossacks that are going to be pushing through as well. And oh my god, TP going down, putting a nice little TP on the front line just to block these Cossacks, prevent them from getting a perfect surround. Now the fight continues to go on, but look at the stats on these Axe Riders. An extra 116 health. Fitzbro really just using these TPs to dominate the early game here. I thought it might have been over Fitzbro once Prop was pushing in and really just taking out the War Hut, but nonetheless, Fitz has managed to sort of establish himself as the dominant player in the early game. More Setons now coming out. Prop is in a difficult spot from this position. We'll take a look at Fitz's army. We'll take a look. He's got 8 Setons, 7 Axe Riders, so a really nice spot. So what I'd like to see, I'd love to see this Explorer come up, and I'd love to see him move around here to this position. This is the best angle to be attacking on. We actually don't see too much out here from this perspective. At most, he would pick up a villager, maybe even 2 villagers. But look down here. This is, oh my god, look how juicy this is. This is disgusting. You come down onto this, so we actually do see a blockhouse now coming down. Also, steel traps being researched. But this is the golden spot right here. And just right where Fitz hasn't actually scouted. Fitz doesn't know that this is here. So a really, really nice potential raid, but Fitz going for the raid right now. Fitz on the move. He's got his Explorer now revived. These are going to hit before the blockhouse gets up. Blockhouse is at 50% health right now, 1,000. He's going to be dropping down a second blockhouse as well. Prof, you can't be doing that many blockhouses, but it actually might save the day because if Fitzbro spots this, he's going to be moving all of his villagers onto this, all of his Axe Riders onto this, instead of taking out this blockhouse, which is going to kind of save him. He's going to lose these 3 villagers here. Definitely they're going to be going down. But at the same time, he's managed to secure this hunt, and that's exactly what he needed to do against Fitzbro on the Lakota. So now going to be burning down this blockhouse. We'll take a look. Fitzbro does spot this blockhouse, so he'll be backing off from here. Doesn't know that there's a hunt here, so not really going to be threatening it. And even if he did, it wouldn't matter because Prop is reinforcing. He's got 10 Cossacks now out on the field, a whole bunch of Musketeers as well. So he's got 10 Musketeers. So Prop looking in a pretty good position. He's got his market upgrades, keep in mind. He's got his, he doesn't have Placer Mines yet, but he does have steel traps up, and he's got 24 villagers on food. So these villagers are doing quite a bit of work. We'll take a look at his deck. We don't see any other real economic cards. We've got the refrigeration as well as economic theory in H2, but no spice trade for him in H2. We've now got some Axe Riders moving up on the north. This is exactly what Fitzbro needs to be doing to get back into this game. He's held at the early stage. He hasn't lost any economy out of it, and he is forcing his opponent to really now play defensively, and he's going to try and tear him apart. So great move. Now 15 Cossacks coming out. Now the thing is, Fitzbro doesn't know about this. Fitzbro hasn't scouted the second stable that's been dropped. He hasn't scouted the first stable that's been dropped. All he knows is that the Russian player is, well, he's just doing stuff. He knows that he'd have muskets out because he's got this blockhouse that's down, but nothing else really. We take a look at Fitzbro, 11 idols at the moment, so a few going idle, training some more Seton bows. We'll take a look and see, what does he have? He's got, he's doing quite well when it comes to his economy. So sending in Great Hunter. So this is a 25% increase on base gather rate for villagers. So very, very nice shipment for Fitzbro. One of the things that I'd like to see from Fitzbro is, now obviously I can say this from a caster's position because I know what the enemy's composition is, but I'd love to see some bow riders coming out from him. Bow riders are very strong against Russian players. Going to be nullifying 2 out of the 3 units that the opponent can make. But now we see the move coming in. Fitzbro coming in at the wrong time almost. Needs to get back to his TPs. A huge surround coming in from the Cossacks as well. We take a look at these units. They're only getting 10%. Fitz dropping down the TPs on the front line saying, you know what? I'm not even going to move back. I'm just going to drop down more TPs so I can defend myself. We now see, take a look. Oh gosh, more Cossacks coming around. Look at the beautiful... Oh man, if this TP had gotten up, I would be in absolute awe right now, but this is very, very cheeky. Fitz dropping down TPs absolutely everywhere. Really nice play with the TPs. He's got a build limit of 12. He's hit 11 of them so far, but still the Cossacks are managing to overrun the Seton bows. These have got 194 health. Yo, people speak about the state militia being overpowered. How about the Seton bowmen? Look at that. That is ridiculous. That is a huge amount of health. We've now got the Axe Riders moving in with 300, an extra 380 health. What is this? This is insane. You can't push into this. And Fitzbro managing to turn the tide despite being significantly outnumbered by the Cossacks of the Russian player, still managing to turn the tide. There was an Axe Rider with plus 380 health in there. Holy crap, that is a lot of health. That is so much health because it's plus 380. It's the 250 base plus 380. It's like 600 health. So now some Musketeers coming out on top of it. Fitzbro also sending in cavalry hit points. Just when you thought there wasn't enough hit points yet already, Fitzbro sending in cav hit points. I'd love to see cav attack with this strategy because TPs just really changed the fight so much. You can't actually fight into these TPs. I feel like you need falconets. At this point, there's way too many TPs because it looks like there's 16 Seton bowmen. There are not. There are like 40 Seton bowmen in there. They are very, very strong. So at this point, I'm like, Prop, you know what? You're going to need to get up to the third age. I'm going to need to see some falconets out of you because I don't think you can bust through this front door with your sledgehammer. It's just not gonna work. So now Fitzbro burning down this blockhouse on the front line. We'll take a look at Prop, see what he's up to. Sending Team Cavalry Scouts. So instead of opting to send something like, well, actually, you know what? He's already sent 600 coin. This is quite literally the best shipment he's got in this situation. Gonna buy him a little bit of time. But, and now look at this Fitzbro ring, so cheeky, dropping down more TPs as he gets closer to the base. Really, really nice. But I like the way that Fitzbro's, or the Prop is playing it, going with double Cossacks here. I think this is the appropriate play, just because if you take a look at Fitz's composition, he's got the cavalry as well as the Seton bows, so it's going to deal with everything. The main issue is if Fitzbro opens with Bow Rider, which is exactly what he's doing right now, so more Bow Riders coming in, he's going to be in a real bad spot, Prop is, because we now see 10 Bow Riders out on the field for Fitzbro, and Prop should be picking that up. He can see these Bow Riders sieging this down, but still he's training double Cossacks here. So a little bit of a difficult spot for Prop. He's now got 10 Strelets coming from each of these blockhouses down towards the south. Oh my god. Okay, so really, really unfortunate placement of his hunts as well. All up against the edge of the map. You really want to avoid that happening. It's very, very frustrating when that happens because your villagers are just going to be going idle all the time because they're trying to reach these hunts and they just can't get there. The best way to do it, to deal with that, is just bring a villager underneath the cliff and just shoot the hunt out. It can be difficult, but it's good to see now. So now the players are moving in. We've got Fitzbro here with the 14 Bow Riders as well as the 25 Seton Bowmen. Going to potentially be moving back to this TP. I think Fitzbro's in a very dominant position here. Prop is on the back foot at this point. Fitzbro now moving on top of that TP, saying, you know what, it's a little bit too much for me. Keep in mind the Strelets do trade very, very well with any kind of unit that isn't heavy cavalry. And when it comes to heavy cavalry, well, there's no real Axe Rider presence here from Fitzbro. I'd love to see him going for a raid, and that's exactly what he is doing. So sending his units up here to the north. There's still no villages here on the north side. Some really good line of sight as well out from Prop with these houses. These houses are going to extend out the town center line of sight. So town center line of sight, you can see, would go to here. These houses are just going to pop it out a little bit further just so he gets that little bit of an extra warning sign. This coin mine's going to be running out soon, 250 coin. But nonetheless, I still think, keep in mind, Russia underscores in these games. Russia does underscore 47 villages for the Russian player. So his economy is in a great spot. In addition to that, he's also got distributivism. Hasn't sent through economic theory yet. So if we do a stock take, we can see that he's sitting on about 50 villages at the moment. We look at Fitzbro. Fitzbro sitting on 47 villages at the moment. So both players on very similar economic terms. Fitzbro also got that community plaza down. We take a look at his villages, 1.13. So no, he's got the hunting dogs as well as the great hunter. But both players have almost exhausted all of their age 2 shipments at this point. We see that all shipments, with the exception of advanced arsenal, fencing school, economic theory, have been sent in. And it definitely looks like both players are heading towards that age 3 macro. We take a look at Fitzbro as well, doing the same thing. He's sent everything except for New Ways. So New Ways enables him to get those arsenal improvements. I'd like to see a bit more mobility from Fitzbro, potentially coming down to these mines, just because he can poke very easily with these Bow Riders. These units are the fastest units in the game, with a base movement speed of 7.76. Not talking about any ships, obviously, but I'd love to see him just sort of moving down towards this angle, really just trying to keep him off as many resources as possible. That's really what you want to be doing at the moment, because if we take a look at Fitzbro, if we have a look at Fitzbro's perspective, we can see that he's got these units. These units are fast. That's what they can do. They can get back to the base very, very easily. So he needs to be out on the map. He needs to be making moves. That's the key thing. Now, he needs to make sure that he doesn't lose them. He can't be trapped. That's a very, very core thing that he needs to be cognizant of. He can't get trapped. But you can see macroing now for H3. We don't have an H3 coming up for Prop, though. I thought that Prop was in a position where he would be macroing for H3, but deciding not to. Instead, moving his army up to the north. So instead of investing in a blockhouse, just going to be investing in keeping his units here, which is a very nice idea. Fitzbro now coming down to the south. So picking up a couple of villages down here, down to 50 villages now. So losing 3 villages. Going to be losing a 4th and a 5th one. There they go down. Economic theory now coming in as well. So Fitzbro definitely starting to even up the economy a bit. And one of the things that you've got to be so careful of is, so when Prop had all of his units or all of his villages on this coin mine, he moved all of these other villages up to the north. Okay, and so as a consequence, even though these are quite close to the blockhouse, against the Lakota, you have got to be so on the ball. And it meant that a couple villages got picked off from here, a couple villages get picked off from here. Now, this is a really dangerous spot. Now, obviously, he's got his army here that he can be using to leverage this coin mine. But the main issue that he's going to have is that if Fitzbro just runs in at lightning speed, which he can do because he's the Lakota, he's going to be able to pick up almost every single one of those villages. Fitzbro now hitting the 3rd age. So what I want to see Fitzbro do immediately, research Seton bows, the elite Seton bows upgrade. He needs to be doing that right now. He needs to be doing it. Okay, he's getting elite axe riders, which is just as good. He's got 18 axe riders, and I want to see him get that big button pop. We're at 22 minutes now. He's going to be getting a really good button pop on top of this. Full HP on the war hut. So really needs to be timing it. We also see the elite bow rider. So he needs to be coming in and just doing a bit, trying to harass his opponent, getting some damage out onto this, but it looks like this is going to be going down, so I don't think even if he was going to be doing elite Seton bows out of this, he'd be able to get it off in time. We see that the axe rider still hasn't come through, so you kind of got to like play a little game of cat and mouse with it, but now we see the Cossacks getting on top of Fitzbro's army. 22 Cossacks, 30 Strelets pushing in. Now, Prop knows that this is go time. He needs to do this before the elite upgrades come in. We've now got the dog soldiers getting called. Lakota Tukola soldiers getting called in. Fitzbro now in a great position. 18 axe riders. He's got the 11 bow riders and a huge amount of Tukola soldiers. 7 Tukola soldiers. These are age 3. These are Lancer units. This isn't even going to be close. This is going to be disgusting. We see Fitz's score already up by 5k. He's on the attack dance right now. Dog soldiers moving in. We've got some muskets coming in to back it up. We'll take a look at Prop. We see what his economy is looking like, and Prop just getting absolutely destroyed from this position. So Prop calling the good game right there, and absolutely well played from Fitz. Very nice timing. Let's take a look at the end game. I really want to see what the resource count looked like. We see both players just so evenly matched all the way to the end. We'll take a look at villager count and have a look and see how many villages each player managed to snipe out. So we see Prop losing 1, 2 villages here, losing about 3 villages here, 5 villages here. Geez, that's a fair amount. So losing 3 and then 5. And then we'll take a military unit population, and we just see how far Fitz is above and just absolutely destroying him. So very, very impressive play from Fitz. Love seeing the Teepees. If you guys would like to see more from Fitzbro, I'll leave a link in the description to his YouTube channel. I encourage you to throw him a subscribe. He's an incredibly talented player. Very, very funny guy as well. Absolutely love Fitzbro. He's one of the guys that I consider a true friend of mine in Age of Empires. So if you'd like to check him out, I'll leave that link in the description. And other than that, thank you guys for watching.